Round 6 of the championship brings us to the United Kingdom. Welcome everyone here at Silverstone as we ready ourselves for another race of the 4th season of the Talent Factory League. And we are live for Q1. Okay, so technical difficulties, but hopefully those have been fixed. As we saw a car heading out, I didn't know which one it was, I think it was an AlphaTauri. Milan in the Mercedes is out, I think. No, it's Meneer van den Bergen, but Yagizan first out here at Silverstone in the AlphaTauri. Number 13 AlphaTauri. As we head towards the Wellington Straight. Of course, a lot of famous corners here around Silverstone. And we'll see hopefully some exciting racing today here. And going from the race from last season, where there was a change for the lead 3 times on the last lap. It will surely be a racing spectacle in the making. But let's get through qualifying first. And drivers have said after the recent patch, so the newest update for the game, that the cars around certain tracks feel a lot different and certainly sometimes are a lot slower compared to what they were last week, or before the update at least. So that means we are going to see 130s in the race, 129s maybe, and here in qualifying I think we'll see 26, maybe a 27 even. But let's go on board with Yagizan. Look what he will do on his first run. Through entry onto the Wellington Straight, DRS wide open down towards Brooklands, where we have seen fights between the Mercedes drivers in 2020 and 2019. Through Lovefield and on towards Woodcut, where now we go to the old start-finish straight, and on towards Cops, where of course a famous crash of the 2021 season between Hamilton and Verstappen happened. Through Brackets and Chapel we go, and on towards the Hangar Straight, which got its name from the old hangar which used to be here when this was still an airfield. Yes, this was actually an airfield during the Second World War. That's why the elevation change at the circuit is as minimal as it is, because it used to be an airfield, and of course at an airfield elevation change needs to be minimal. As Yagizan goes provisional P1, 26.7, as an Aston Martin of Yuxo goes to 27.6, almost a second down on the AlphaTauri driver. As Meneer van den Bergen heads over the finish line, was an invalidated lap, so he won't complete a valid run. As Joey goes at 130.2, needs to be a little bit faster. As Jars goes P2 behind the AlphaTauri driver at 127.1. So we are already into the 126s with the time from Yagizan. Sven 127.9. As a McLaren driver of Davy, let's go on board with him, is going for his hot lap now. Second in the championship, wants to take the lead back this race, as his main championship rival Black Box is not here because he's not home. 2 points is he behind the Mercedes driver. And that means by just scoring a pole position or fastest lap or a 9th place, that surely means he will be equal with Black Box, and I think he'll be aiming for something better than those things. Well, pole position is the best thing he can get in the qualifying session, but of course he wants to aim for a better race position. Through cops, but Davey loses the car, goes off throttle, and that means his run is not invalidated yet. So he will continue this lap, but it won't be a spectacular lap time. 103.6 through the second sector, and it doesn't look like he's pushing anymore. So will he go into the pit lane? I think he will. He won't, so maybe he'll continue for another lap, as the top 5, except for Meneer van den Bergen, are already in after their first run. Davey 127.2 goes P4 with that lap time. Let's go to Milan, who will set a lap time right now. Through club he goes, and it will be a 27.1, just 4 100ths behind Jars. And that means Yagizan is still on pole position, 4 tenths faster than any driver at the moment. VR Mika going for his hot lap right now. The Alpine driver, let's go on board with Mika. Oh, as he loses the car. As he loses the car through Abbey. And that means his run is over. Goes off the track to let the Ferrari by. And that is the Ferrari of Jensen. Let's go on board with Jensen. 126.7 is his lap time. Question is he pushing on his run right now? It does look like he is pushing. He's 7 100ths slower than he was before, as Ecos Cameron goes at 26.731, which is exactly the same time as Yagizan, which is strange because Yagizan set the first set his lap first, so that would mean that Yagizan gets the position, but the computer gives it to Cameron at the moment. Nonetheless, that's extremely close in qualifying, and it's only Q1. So expect a qualifying session closer than you've ever seen before today, as Leonard is P3, so AlphaTauri 2 and 3 at the moment. Let's go on board with Jensen still. Through the third sector. Oh, a bit of a lock up on the front left wheel. As he goes over the start finish, as he goes 3 tenths faster, is P8 provisional. I think that's a Williams going over the line right now. Is it a Williams? I think it was a Williams. At least Yagizan. Let's go on board with Yagizan. The Turkish driver now going for a second run, and is aiming to improve his lap time to regain that P1. Remember though, it's only Q1. So with the lap times they've set, so the top 2 at least, surely means they are safe. But Yagizan is not going to stand on the sidelines. He's going to push for another lap, as he is already almost 1 tenth faster than he was before. So he's heading for a lap time even faster than the 26.7 that he is at the moment. Oh, as he goes wide through cops, that surely means he will stop pushing this lap, and he has stopped pushing this lap. Jerry van Bussel, I think, yes, in the Alfa Romeo, also invalidated his lap. And behind, I think that's yeah, an Alpine of VR Mika spinning after cops, which means his run is over as well. Okay, so we have Cameron on P1, Jars in P4, 4. And between them, the AlphaTauri drivers of Jagizan and Leonard. As we will go on board with Sven. He wasn't improving, but he's going for another run right now, so let's go on board with Sven. Sven P11 at the moment, 27.9. And then it's a big gap to Joey. Oh, Sven not taking that corner as he should, as the Mercedes of Milan is going over the line to start a lap right now. What can Sven do in the first sector? He's up by 1.5 tenths, so he is going slower than he was before. Davy, second in the championship, going over the line right now. And there's a Red Bull. Oh, Fruitful not going fast through Magus and Beckett's. Who's on a hot lap? I think there's a Williams going for a lap. Oh, he also has invalidated his run. A lot of invalidations, it seems. Well, Leonard, P3 at the moment, is also on his outlap, driving with the same number as Jagizan, number 13. Unlucky 13 today, 2-3. I think that will be a pretty good result for the Italian outfit, as FVR Borrell goes to 26.6 in the Williams, so provisional P1 for the Williams driver. As Leonard tries to improve his lap time, going for the provisional P1, he has to improve by almost 5 tenths of a second. More than 5 tenths of a second, actually. So let's go on board with the AlphaTauri driver. What can he do? Going towards the Wellington straight now. Through Aintree. DRS open. Pushing his ERS. Down towards Brooklands. Turning right after the 50-meter mark. Turning right for Luffield. We will see a lot of action in the race, trust me. Going through Woodcote on towards Copse. Can he take it flat out? He does take it flat out, but it means he has to take a track limit, but the game didn't give it to him. Lucky for him, so he can continue his run. He did miss a bit of the apex of the right-hander though, and now he does invalidate his lap time. So, oh, Steph losing his car coming out of Chapel. And that was exactly the right moment to go to the point of view of Steph, as Davy, unnoticed, has crawled to P2. 5 thousandths of a second slower than Ball is now. As Milan is 5.5 seconds slower after the second sector, so he isn't on a run. Fruitful was... no, he is not on a run anymore. But his teammate, Jars, now going for a run. P9 in the special liveried Red Bull from Turkey. The homage to the Honda team behind the Honda power unit, of course. And what can Jars do? Jars in the same position almost as Leonard, 5 thousandths of a second slower than Leonard is. So can he aim for P1? We've seen it with Davy with a big improvement. 8 thousandths of a second faster in the first sector. That doesn't have to mean anything, but he still has to win 5 tenths coming out of Luffield towards the start finish. So on towards Copse. Does he take it flat out? Is the corner flat out? He does not take it flat out, but does make the corner. So is that the strategy in qualifying even? Not flat out through Copse. He does hit the apex pretty well though. And he is 2 tenths faster now than he was previously. So 8 thousandths of a second faster in the first sector. 2 tenths faster in the second sector. On towards Vale. towards the start finish line. Can he win 0.3 of a second in this sector alone? It will be a 26.8. No, it's only 5/100ths of an improvement, which will put him P7, just behind Arva Fruitful. But it's still Borrell on top in P1. The Ferrari of Charles heading for an outlap. As the Alpine of Mika. Yes, let's go on board with Mika first, because Mika is going to set a lap time here. It will be a 26.6 P3. 4/100ths of a second slower than Borrell in P1. So pretty competitive lap time. Let's go back to Charles in P17. Oh, and the Ferrari teammate slipstreaming. Not a perfectly executed one. And if I were Ferrari, I would have done it on the Hangar straight instead of the Wellington straight, because of the length of the straight. But that just might be a Ferrari technique though. But let's go on board with it. As Yagizan has retired, Davey also has retired, and Borrell is retiring as well. So from the top 5, 3 drivers believing they are through easily at the moment, as there is 1.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. Charles 103.5 after the second sector. The map showing purple for second sector, but that is not the case at all. Going through on towards Vale. Now hitting the curb on the inside just a little bit. Zimnon is retired as well. Charles, what can he do? It will be 27.2, which will put him P13. And in the danger zone at the moment, Julian in P19. Did we miss something? Did he crash? Retired by accident maybe? But Julian out of qualifying. Only man in the top 6 who hasn't won a race in the championship is Andreas. Is now going for 1 run in Q1. So Julian might be on here for a last place starting position at Silverstone. Damiano also in the danger zone, as is Joey and Juxel. As Andreas by a 137.7 is already off the final position, but he has invalidated his run, which means he's surely out as Damiano. Damiano out of qualifying here at Silverstone, crashing out at Cops, and high speed impact, and he's out, P19 for the McLaren driver. So Andreas out, Joey is improving, but I don't think he can make it, and Juxel finishing not even on track, staying in the pit lane, is also out of qualifying. So Julian and Juxel, both Aston Martins, out of qualifying. As is Joey in the Haas. Andreas is also out in the Williams. But big shocker for me here is Damiano and Julian. As we wait for the final cars to finish. And that is not what McLaren need in the Constructors' Championship. Davey, of course, being P2. But Damiano in P19. And Andreas coming into the pits right now, as I think we're only winning for Steph. As there's no checkered flag next to his name. We have to wait until he gets into the pit lane or finishes on the start-finish straight, but he is going into the pit lane. So that is Q1 with Borrell, the fastest lap time, 26.6, and it's all very close at the top, all 6s for the top 3. And 4th and 5th position, Cameron and Yagizan, as we talked about earlier, no time between them. The exact same time in qualifying 1. As we wait for Steph's car to be pushed into the pits by his Haas engineers and pit crew. So it's Borrell on top, P1 in Q1. Davey in P2. VR Mika in the Alpine, P3, 39 thousandths of a second slower. Cameron and Jagizan, P4 and 5, exact same time. Then it's Milan, Fruitful, Josh, Steph and Leonard closing out the top 10. Jerry, meneer Van den Bergen, Charles, Sven and Janssen, both Ferraris on the cusp of elimination, but they are through to Q2, which will start in just under 3 seconds here at Silverstone. And for everyone in the chat, just chat in the chat box, who do you think is going to take pole position here today at Silverstone? So just type your favorite driver or the driver you think will take pole position here in the chat, and we'll see if you are right at the end of Q3. But first, Q2. 50 minutes on the clock, which already 20 seconds have gone. And Milan will go onto the track as fast as possible. As I think Steph also out of the pit lane right now. And we see a different choice of tire compounds here. I think the gap between the soft tires and the medium tires is around 5 tenths of a second around Silverstone. So it is possible to qualify with the medium tire, but it is very difficult. But if you qualify in the top 10 with those medium tires, you have such a big advantage if you start from a higher grid position on those mediums. Of course, not counting any safety cars whatsoever. But in a regular race, no rain, no safety car, the medium soft strategy is the preferred strategy for many of these drivers. As a lot of drivers have already gone out onto the track. Sven, Borrell, Fruitful and Janssen still in the pit lane. As Steph has a train of an AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes behind him. Steph will be the first one to go for a lap in Q2, and he is on the soft tire. Soft tires for Steph, Jerry, Milan, Jars and Janssen. Will we see any of these drivers going back into the pit lane to switch to mediums, I wonder? As Steph starts his hot lap, he does not go back into the pit lane to switch to medium tires. Jerry also on a lap, and Milan as well. So expect one of these guys to take provisional P1 here in Q2. Steph, DRS open over the Wellington Straight, down towards Brooklands. 4th gear, short shift to 5th gear, shifting down towards 3rd gear, short shift 4th gear, and accelerating out of left field through Rutgert, cutting a bit of the track on the inside and through Cubs. Will it be flat out this time? It won't be. It won't be for Steph as he spins once again. Not the first time we've seen a Haas driver spin, but let's go on board with Sven. No, not Sven. Jerry van Bussel, I think. Yes, Jerry is now the lead car. It's a 103.9 after the second sector. And the Mercedes of Milan, I think it is on a faster lap. Because his purple sector immediately got taken away. We've seen 03.0s after the second sector a few minutes ago in Q1, so this won't be the best lap time ever. No, it's a 27.8. Milan 27.4. That can go a lot faster. It's Charles over the finish line now on the medium tire, 27.7, 3 tenths off P1. Meneer Van den Bergen with the medium tire, 27.8. Now it's the AlphaTauri driver of Jagizan. Jagizan going provisional pole, P1, sorry, on medium tires, 27.0. And Davy also at 27.0. Red Bull of Jar's 27.2 on the soft tires, which has been invalidated. VR Mika over the finish line now, 27.6 is provisional P4. As Sven heads over the finish line now, 27.4 on the medium tires, takes P3 away from Milan. As Furtful goes P3 instead of Sven with a 27.4, goes a few 100s faster than Sven, as the Ferrari of Janssen now is going over the finish line, 27.9 on the soft tires. And those are the first runs here in Q2. Another spinner, and it's a Ferrari of Janssen. Can he keep it out of the barriers? Just. He keeps it out of the barrier, and he gets it out of the gravel trap. So Janssen, I think, can continue his qualifying session. Bottle, this man, having set the fastest time in Q1, is aiming for another P1 here at Silverstone, but he has to beat a 27.0 if he wants to do that. Can he do that on the medium tires? Can he go faster than the Alpha Tauri driver, the number 13 Alpha Tauri driver of Yagizan? We'll go off-board with Bottle for a lap of Silverstone, as Charles has retired from this session in the pit lane. So Charles, unexpectedly having retired after only setting a 27.7 on the medium tire, what is his plan for the race, as most drivers are heading back into the pit lane? This man, Bottle, is going for his run right now in the Williams. 27.6 for the first sector. Through level he go, and he stops with his lap. He didn't think this would be the lap of laps, and he stops pushing to let through the Mercedes driver of Cameron on his outlap. So Leonard and Cameron going off sync with the rest of the field, and they are going for their outlap right now. And Leonard being just in front of Cameron, going through Stowe now. So let's go on board with the Alpha Tauri driver, number 13 Alpha Tauri driver as well. So the Mercedes coming right up behind Leonard, as Leonard is now going for his hot lap on the medium tire. Davey has put on the soft tire in the pit lane, so we'll try to defend his lap time on the soft tires. Yagizan on an out lap is still on the medium tire, so he will almost certainly start on the medium tire. And Yagizan being just behind his teammate Leonard. Leonard, of course, being on his push lap. 27.5, which is 1/10 faster than we saw from Bottle last lap, and it says purple in the bottom right hand corner, and if we can believe the game, it might be so. But let's stay on board with Leonard. We've seen he has the pace to go P1 as he goes through cups in 8th gear. Maggots, Beckett's, and now Chapel. He does not get the tow from Steph, unfortunately for him. Purple after the second sector, I don't think it is. And I don't think with the time he set after his second sector he will go for P1 on this run. What can he do though as we go through the final sector? Looked like a pretty safe lap to me, so hopefully for him he will be anywhere near the front of the grid. He is 3/10 slower than Yagizan, his teammate, as Cameron in the Mercedes behind goes to 27.1, as Bottle goes to 27.1 as well, 13,000 of a second faster than Cameron. Okay, so once again pretty close, and the gap between P1 and P2, between Yagizan and Davy, is 5/100ths. Is there someone on a run? Let's check it out. Is Jars on a lap time? Yeah, I think he is pushing. 8 gear through cops as well. And I think that will allow the drivers to be full throttle through cops. Shifting down the gears towards 5th gear. Short shifting through to 6th gear. Opening the DRS and over the Hangar Straight. 1:03.4, which is a fast sector time. As we go to the final couple of corners. He almost goes to the back of the Mercedes driver, but the Mercedes driver is pushing now, so he won't have any trouble with him. It's a 27.2 for Jars. Good enough for P6. 2 temps from P1. Speaking about P1, Yagizan, he's going for another lap now. So let's look at a lap with Yagizan. Going through turn 1, Abbey, through farm, and on towards village. Can he improve his lap time? As Bobble has retired from the session, believes he is safe with a medium run. But how many drivers will opt for the soft tire in the dying minutes of this qualifying session? Yagizan 0.006 of a second faster than he was previously. So he is going for an improvement if he can get his lap together. Through cops, 8th gear as well, not full throttle. You saw it in the bottom right hand corner. So 8th gear not allowing Yagizan to go full throttle through cops. 7th gear, 6th gear, definitely different gear choices through Beckett's and Chapel, as Milan goes P1 26.6 on the soft tire. And as we said, how many drivers will opt for the soft tire, Milan being the first one to opt for them. Okay, so Yagizan on his medium run once again, which he has already used for a first run earlier in the session, goes 1.5 temps faster than he was previously. So he is 2.5 temps from pole position, P1 for Q2. Jerry goes P2 with the soft tire as well. So a pretty decent lap from Yagizan, leaves him P3, and I wonder how many more drivers will go for a soft run. Are the medium runners safe? Especially Bogle, who has the pace, I think, to get a pretty good position here. Via Mika, also on the soft tires, almost a second improving. He goes provisional P1, 26.4. So once again, another soft runner improving, which means the medium runners will go down the order, as Johnson has retired in P2. Red Bull of Fruitful going over the line, P4 on the soft tires. 26.8 as he goes a bit wide through Abbey. Okay, Mercedes driver of Milan going slowly. He will head into the pit surely. I don't think he has any more fuel left. Jerry van Bussel going through cops as well. As Yagizan is pushing behind, he'll go into the pits with his old medium tires. Meneer van den Bergen on his run as well. 27.8 was the best he could do at his previous attempt. He is 7.5 temps faster than he was previously, so aiming for a 27.1 in the worst case, if he can set the same sector time as he did before on his other set of tires. And I think he will improve even more. Let's go for 26.8. Will it be a 26.8? It will be a 26.9 for Meneer van den Bergen. Goes P6. And that's good news for Yagizan, who is P5 on the mediums. And Meneer van den Bergen on the soft tire is not able to go in front of the AlphaTauri driver. Going towards Steph, he is on the medium tires once again. So he will start, if he can qualify in the top 10, on the mediums. He is P10 at the moment, but of course, Jars on the soft tire on his outlap. Leonard on the soft tires. Sven on the soft tires, improving and only going to improve even more. So Steph, what can he do? Top 5, only Mika has not retired yet, and he's in the pit lane. Meneer Van den Bergen is still out on track, as Steph on his medium tires. I'm not certain he will make it out of the session on these tires if the guys behind are improving. Leonard is retiring from the session. Maybe he has made a mistake, but only Jars and Sven can push Steph out of qualifying, as Cameron is also on a set of soft tires trying to improve his position. Davey is on a set of soft tires trying to improve his position. Sven goes P5, so that means Steph and Jars are in the danger zone. Cameron also in the danger zone, but he is improving on those soft tires. Steph is improving by almost 0.3 of a second. Where can he go? He will go P8, pushes Bottle to P10. Cameron is behind Jars. Jars is now going over the finish line. What will his time be? Will it be good enough for P1? It will be good enough for P1. A 1:26.4 for Jars, which has put Bottle out of qualifying. Cameron now setting his lap time. I think he jumped to P5. But who's out of qualifying now? Who's P11? P11 is for Steph, who's out on the medium tires. So only one driver making it through on the medium tires by less than 1/10 of a second, and it is Yagizan, the Turkish driver in the AlphaTauri, the only driver through on the medium tires, which is a huge advantage in the race. So Jars fastest in the qualifying session, 26.4, 33 thousandths of a second behind Mika in the Alpine. Then Davey second in the championship. Milan 4th position in the qualifying session, almost 2.5 times down. Cameron 2.5 times down as well. Your top 5. So on towards qualifying 3, which will determine the starting position of the top 10. Remember, the top 10 will start the race on the soft compound of tire, except for Yagizan. And it is raining. It is raining at Silverstone. So Q3 is a wet qualifying session. So this will surely spice things up. Will we see the same drivers as before heading the field? So the likes of Yagizan and who Jars also quick in the previous qualifying session. Will we see the same drivers as before heading the field, or will someone unexpected take pole position? Remember, it's not the first time someone who we didn't expect would take pole position takes pole position. So Yeri, the first man out on the intermediates. Surely the track is at its fastest now when it is just raining slightly. Oh, as Jerry struggles to control the car, maybe it will only start increasing. The rain intensity will only start increasing, so that would mean the track will only get slower if you even have to go to full wets after a few minutes. So these first few minutes of the qualifying session might be the most important for the drivers. Still though, 2 drivers in the pit lane, and those are the drivers which we have been talking about just a minute ago. Jars in the Red Bull and Yagizan in the AlphaTauri. So are they making a strategic miscalculation here, or Is it their plan all along? They are now out of the pit lane. So, Jerry, possibly the fastest track? You don't know, might be that the track is drying up already, that the track will get better in the rain after a few minutes. Let's see what this wet qualifying session will bring us, as the Alfa Romeo of Jerry van Bussel goes over the finish line right now. So we are starting this qualifying session with a lap from Jerry in the Alfa Romeo. We've seen him struggle in his out lap. Will he struggle in his hot lap as well? Yes, he will struggle, as he has already invalidated his first run, which might be crucial. Then let's go to VER Mika in the Alpine. The Alpine driver showing that he had pace in the dry, but does he have pace in the wet? We go to a first sector time of a 30.0, which is almost 4 seconds slower than we saw in the dry. And of course, the driver is just acclimatizing to the track at the moment. Count on high fuel runs by the drivers. So the drivers will take a lot of fuel in the car to go for multiple laps to try to set better lap times one after another. VR Mika, after the second sector, the timing is a 109.6, fastest of all. Of course, he's the first driver to set not invalidated lap time, but I think the Mercedes driver behind, don't know if it's Egos Cameron or if it's IFR Milan, but they are going faster. He misses the apex totally, goes towards the finish line, but it's important to set any lap time you can. It's at 37.0 as Milan goes at 35.7, 1.3 seconds faster. Swen at 36.0, 3/10 down on Milan, as the McLaren driver of Davy goes provisional pole, 35.6. Then is Mr. Van der Berge in P4. And then the Red Bull of Fruitful going towards the finish line now. He has invalidated his lap, so that won't count. Jars also with an invalidation. And then it's Jagizant with the fastest middle sector. So will he go provisional pole? Towards the final couple of corners, braking just after the 100 meter board. Of course, longer braking distances here in the rain. And it will be a 35.6, which is only good enough for P2. But look at the gap between P1 and P2, 14 thousandths of a second. That's nothing. So it will be very close today, even in the rain, in the intermediate conditions. Let's go to VR Mika. No, he's slower than he was before. Milan is improving, but he has invalidated his run. The Mercedes teammate behind Cameron, 109.3 for the second sector, as Milan is going for another lap now. If he was improving by 4 tenths already, that surely means he can go a lot faster, as Cameron goes at 35.5, 1 tenth faster than Davy. So he's now on provisional pole, as Davy goes for another lap. He did not improve on his previous attempt. The Red Bull of Fruitful once again invalidating his run, and now going for one more lap. And that was a 141.5, so somewhere making a mistake, backing off the power. Jars a 109.2, and I think that is faster than what we saw from the drivers before. So is Jars on his way to pole position here at Silverstone? We know he's a fast driver in the rain. He will go 35.4 into the fours with a 4.99. So Jars on provisional pole, as he almost loses his Red Bull. Almost losing his Red Bull. Going to provisional pole in style, but he's not there yet. It's almost 5 minutes left, and the track is improving for the drivers. Jari van Bussel going for another lap now, has not set a lap time, as has Fruitful. So Fruitful and the Alfa Romeo driver Jari van Bussel not having set a lap time up till now. Jerry wants to change that. So he's on a lap now, but he's just struggling to keep the car on the track. And Milan going for another lap now. 3 lap all intermediate tires already. And Davey completing his lap. Goes provisional point 35.0! 4 faster than Jars in the Red Bull. So Davey definitely had a lot more pace. And if he can get that pole position, he's level with Black Box at the lead of the championship. Red Bull teammates through Stowe right now. And let's go to Red Bull, to Fruitful. He's into the pit lane, as is Jars. So Jars and Fruitful into the pit lane. So back to Jari van Bussel, who's set a 09.8 after the second sector. I think he's heading for a high 36 if he can complete this lap. And also Jerry will go on board with Milan, who's on another lap. But will he complete that lap, or will he go into the pit lane? Jari van Bussel will set a 36.2, goes P7. As Milan is 5/10 faster on his 3 lap all intermediate tires after the second sector. He can win a lot more time in this third sector, as driver has started to go out of the pit lane for their second runs. Shall we say their second stints in the qualifying session. Milan goes wide, but he goes P2 as the game decides to invalidate his lap after he crossed the finish line, demoting him to P5 where he was before. Oh, Milan going off track, as there are 2.5 minutes left in the qualifying session. Milan letting through Sven behind in the Alfa Romeo on his outlap. So Milan could have stayed in front, but Mika also on a lap. What can Mika do in the first sector? He's 1/10 faster. That doesn't mean anything for him yet. He has to find 9/10 in the remaining 2 sectors. Sven on his outlap, Meneer van den Bergen on his outlap, Fruitful on his outlap, Cameron on his outlap. What can Cameron and Jars do to beat the time of Davey? Can they beat the time of Davey? As it looks like a Mercedes is going slowly, as I think that is Milan, who does not have enough fuel to go back to the pits. Mika almost going 7/10 faster than he was before, so he's still on for a shout. Oh, it's a 37.0 that he said previously, so he's still on for a shout of P7 maybe. Definitely not pole position by the looks of it. Oh, as he almost loses control of the car. Mika going 35.3. Oh, he was going on for a pole position, but not making it. It's 35.3 for Mika. As Milan goes into the pit lane, his chance for pole position is gone. Milan won't be on pole position and is at best P6. Fruitful starting his hot lap right now. Yagizan going faster than he was previously. He will put on the timing screens a 35.5, which is only good enough for P4, but he is going for another lap. But shame for Milan, who is only P6. And I think he did not see that coming. And maybe miscalculated with the fuel. So this will certainly be the final runs for the drivers. For Yagizan, certainly. For Jari van Bussel, he can put another lap. Oh, as he has invalidated his previous lap, he can put one more lap on the timing screens. Fruitful is not on a hot lap. Yeah, is on a hot lap, but not at the start finish. as Meneer van den Bergen is also just crossing the start-finish straight, as is Davy. And Cameron will be the first one to complete his qualifying session by the looks of it. Will he complete it, or will he cross the line in time? No, he won't cross the line in time. Cameron is only P5 by the looks of it. Then it's the Alfa Romeo of Sven. Sven going P2 on the line. So the track going a lot quicker, is getting a lot quicker. What does that mean for the other drivers? Fruitful in P10 has not set a lap time yet. Can he set one lap time though? It will be a 35.6, which is only good enough for P7. Yagizan P2 crashes at the start finish. So Yagizan only P2 by 100th of a second. Jars has invalidated his run. Meneer van den Bergen is still on the lap. Can he improve? He is 9/10 faster than he was previously, so that would mean a 35.7, which will put him around Fruitful Milan. So Jar is not completing his run with a valid lap. He will be P5. Jerry is not on a hot lap. Meneer van den Bergen will go P5. It's pole position for TFL Davy. A 130. No, it's the pole position for Davy. Once again, 34.9. He was improving, and he's the only driver into the 34s in the wets. So Davy is on pole. He was on pole. He improved his position on pole. But props to Sven. Did not see that coming. P3 for him in the wet. Yagizan P2, Davy P1, improving at the dire seconds of the qualifying session. Last driver over the line. Mika in P4, Meneer van den Bergen in P5, Jars in P6, Cameron in P7, Fruitful P8, Milan P9, Jerry P10. As we wait for the qualifying session to end, we have our pole sitter here. It's Davy in the McLaren on pole position, but can he convert it to a win? He is now on level with Black Box at the top of the championship, and only a DNF can keep it that way if he finishes the... No, I did not say that correctly. Only a non-point scoring finish, let's say it that way, so finish outside of the top 10 can keep it that way. So Davy on pole, Yagizan behind in P2, Sven P3, Mika P4, Meneer van den Bergen P5, Jars P6, P7 for Cameron, P8 Fruitful, P9 for Milan, and P10 is Jerry van Bussel. As we wait for the qualifying session to start, we'll be back in just a few seconds. And who's ready for a race around Silverstone? Round 6 of the championship. Davy on pole position, Yagizan in P2, but remember, Yagizan, of course, on the medium compound. So if he gets in front of Davy at the start, that surely means Davy is at a huge disadvantage. But if Yagizan can keep within the DRS of Davy, he might have a good shot at winning this race. We are going to the grid now. We see the lights going on for the formation lap. And looking at the strategy, it is a one-stop from the soft to the mediums. That's the preferred strategy. and then the soft to the hard compound of tire is also an option. Let's look at the different compounds. And everyone behind Jerry in P10, so everyone who didn't make Q3 is on the medium tires, except for TTGA Leonard in the AlphaTauri, who's on the soft compound. So Yagizan on the medium tires does have a different strategy. And will it come back to him this race? Will this mean, with a front row of both previous TFL winners, will this mean there's a pretty high chance of the first driver winning his second race this season being Davy or Yagizan? Or will it be a surprise win from lower down the grid? Sven in P3 maybe. He's shown some good pace, especially in the wet. It is looking a bit dark here at Silverstone. I don't know if we can expect weather changes in this race. But the fire orange McLaren of Davy now going to his grid slot. He is on pole. And he is being directed to the pole position now by the computer. As is Yagizan behind. As is Sven and Mika and Meneer van den Bergen. And everyone behind. They are going to line up now in their grid position. Oh, Sven has disconnected. Sven has disconnected right at the start of the race. I hope he can get back soon, as we once again see the predicted pit stop strategy. Pitting around lap 10 and 13. Let's wait for the lights to go on. So it's Davy on pole position. Yagizan alongside on the medium tire. As we wait for the lights to go green. The lights are on. And the lights are out. Davy gets a better start than the AlphaTauri driver. The computer or Sven is losing positions already. Meneer van den Bergen getting up to P3. Jars up to P4. VR and Mika alongside Jars in P4. Can he get past? No, he can't. Jars is still in front. But Davy having a clean exit as Meneer van den Bergen goes to P2. In front of the AlphaTauri driver of Yagizan. So the Alpine driver into P2 on the soft compound. Milan behind is in P4 as Fruitful is up into P5 on the soft tires. And Damiano and Julian making incredible starts up to P11 and 12 respectively already. Oh, the Haas and the Alfa Romeo almost colliding at cops, as we've seen some drivers do before. But it's Davy in the lead from Meneer van den Bergen, from Yagizan, Milan and Fruitful. Then it's Steph, Jerry van Bussel, Leonard, Janssen in P9. Julian into the points already as Juxol gets past Sven, who's still ghosted. So drama for Sven, as Jars looks to have had an incident, as has Cameron. So Cameron and Jars not looking like they had the best starts. Sven going down and down and down the grid. As Davy sets the fastest lap time. Sven has now joined back in the session. And has to regain a lot of positions from his par 14 as Milan has spun into the barrier after turn 1 and is in P15. And the Mercedes driver, both Mercedes drivers not having the best of starts here. He has damage to his front wing. And Milan's race has taken a turn for the worse here at Silverstone. No safety car whatsoever. But that surely means his race is ruined without a safety car. Meneer van den Bergen keeping up with Davy. And Yagizan behind is close as well on the medium compound. Followed by Fruitful in the Red Bull, who's made a good start from P8. And Steph is being attacked by Jerry van Bussel in the Alfa Romeo. They are very close, as we seem to have lost the interval, so we cannot see the gaps between the drivers. Let's look at this battle though, as the battle for the lead is very close as well. No move could be made going into Stowe. Now onto the start-finish straight we go once again, as we regain the intervals on the left hand side of the screen. It's still Davy with the 3/10 gap to Meneer van den Bergen behind. Yagizan on the medium tire, still within DRS range. And speaking about DRS, it has become active right now. Let's go on board with the Red Bull of Fruitful, who can see it all happening in front of him. Will a driver be attacking in the top 4? No, there won't, but Jerry van Bussel is looking and looking to get past Steph in the Haas. Speaking about Jerry, he set the fastest first sector time with the ERS, with DRS. So he's trying to push past Steph, as Jars seems to have gone into the pit lane, regained the position from Milan. Milan, of course, into the pit lane as well, replacing his front wing. Let's go on board with the Alpine driver. Will he push for the lead of the race? Meneer van den Bergen in P2, stays P2 as there's a yellow flag, and it's Damiano. Damiano has spun, going out of Chapel. He's onto the racetrack now, but a lot of people seem to be spinning in this race, as the top 5 actually bunch up even more. Steph now fastest lap in the Haas, so the drivers behind showing they have the pace to follow the guys in front, as Andreas gets a 3-second time penalty in P16. Well, let's go to the point of view of Meneer van den Bergen. Will he be pushing ERS? He is pushing ERS. He is using his DRS, gets alongside Davy, and is overtaking Davy. Davy still around the outside, but is being pushed wide, and he is now relegated to P2. Viagizan in P3. Meneer van den Bergen into the lead of the Grand Prix. And that might be a very smart move for Davy, because now Davy can use Meneer van den Bergen to just not use any ERS, to just follow the Alpine driver without pushing any ERS, to just hold on to what he has. But will he do that? Will he push? He won't push. He is using his DRS and is staying behind for now. So just the top, looks like the top 11 all in the DRS train, and looking to the Aston Martin drivers, Juxel, Julian having made incredible starts, both drivers into P9 and P10, so both in the top 10. As Borrell sets the fastest lap of the race on the medium tires, will he be making a move for P10, the final points paying position? Oh, Juxel is having a lot of lockups, it seems, and now Borrell is within 4/10 of a second, but in the DRS train, so he cannot do anything about it. Crucial is that Jensen is now 1.1 behind Leonard and is not within the slipstream anymore, as Leonard goes alongside Jerry van Bussel, and Jerry van Bussel shortly before was alongside Steph, and now Leonard is in front of Jerry, but Jerry going off track. Jerry holding on to the position, and Jerry into P6, but has to give the place back to Leonard, who's now into P6 once again. Jerry though on the back of the AlphaTauri driver, as there seems to be a move going on for the lead. Davy into the lead of the Silverstone Grand Prix once again, as Jagizan looks to be overtaking Meneer Van den Bergen as well. Will he make a move in the third sector? No, he won't, but he's so close. 1/10 of a second at some point. And looking behind, between Davy and Meneer Van den Bergen, it's 4/10 of a second between them, and then it's 3/10, 2/10, 2/10, 5/10, and so on. It's so close. And will someone make a move? Crucial, as we said before, is that Jagizan is holding on to this P3 with his medium tires and is now on the attack. Will he go for a move on Meneer Van den Bergen around the outside? Will he go for a move? He won't go for a move. He can't go for a move, but once again, he will go for a move around the outside. Switch back doesn't work. So still in P3. And is Jagizan pushing towards Cups? No, he is not pushing towards Cups. So still, it's Davy from Meneer Van den Bergen, from Jagizan, from Fruitful, from Stef, the top 5. But look at the gaps. And the exit of Chapel, as Milan says, the fastest lap of the race in 29.4. The exit of Chapel will be crucial. And it's Meneer Van den Bergen who's in the slipstream of Davy. Davy has no choice other than to give the position to Meneer Van den Bergen, who takes it as Stef goes for a move on Fruitful. Stef has made the move on Fruitful work. Stef into P4, Fruitful relegated back to P5. And I'm not joking if I'm saying this train of 5 cars is within 1 second of each other. I think they are. I think the top 5 are within 1 second at the moment. And that's... I've never seen gaps that close as Stef and Fruitful come into contact with each other. And surely Davy will try to make, once again, a move on the Alpine driver. Will he push? He's not pushing now, he's pushing alongside Meneer Van den Bergen. And will Meneer Van den Bergen hold on to the lead? No, he won't, but he's still around the outside. Davy gives him space, gives him room, but Jagizan behind will try to take the advantage. He can't, as Meneer Van den Bergen gets a 3-second time penalty for going over the track limits. Meneer Van den Bergen is now relegated to P3 as Jagizan goes around the outside of Meneer Van den Bergen. Meneer Van den Bergen has been spun around at Cops. Stef going into P3, Leonard into P4, Fruitful into P6, so he has been relegated a few positions down due to that incident, I believe. As Jerry van Bussel has made a bad exit, Fruitful immediately trying to get the position back as Jagizan tries to go for the lead on Davy. Jagizan is into the lead momentarily, but Davy regains the lead. Now braking. Jagizan has the inside line towards the finish line. They are still side by side, just like Charles Leclerc Verstappen were in 2016. Jagizan is in the lead, and Davy has no choice but to give the lead to the medium runner. So it's Davy now into P2, and looking behind, Davy is immediately under attack from Stef and Leonard. And Stef hitting the apex, Davy missing the apex, 0.2 of a second the gap between the drivers. The Haas driver pushing behind Davy. He has the DRS, he has ERS. The medium runner alongside Davy is also trying to make a move. Now around the outside, can he make the move work? Davy is on the inside, they give each other room. And Davy just pushing him a bit wide, which he is entitled to do. And now Stef pushing towards Cops. Will he go alongside? No, he won't. And Jars is setting the fastest lap on the hard compound now. So Jars fastest man on track. Is a gamble for the undercut worth it for a lot of these drivers? Jagizan going slowly out of Chapel. Can Davy take any advantage out of that bad exit? Davy, though, under attack from Stef as well. Davy going for the lead. Stef blocked by Jagizan. Cannot make a move as Cameron gets a 10-second time penalty as Davy regains the lead once again. And look at the train. And looking behind, Julian on the medium tires is behind the drivers on the soft tires. So Julian, from last position on the grid, is into P6 already. He's trying to make a move on Fruitful. He is alongside Fruitful. Fruitful gives him enough space. There is respect between the drivers. Fruitful just blocking Julian on the exit. Amazing defending from the Red Bull driver, and Julian not being able to get past. But now he might be able to. Fruitful faking a move to the left hand side. Julian is alongside as Juxel is retired from the race. As I think there was a collision between Ball and Juxel. Juxel has DNF. That's the safety car out. The safety car is out here at Silverstone. Might that be just the worst thing that could have happened to the medium runners in front? And the best thing that could have happened to Davey, who was certainly boxed for the medium tire now. Yagizan will have to go to either the soft tire or the hard tire. And the hard tire, of course, being slower and not preferable now at this moment in time. And Steph, same thing. Leonard has the option to go to the medium tires. Fruitful as well. Julian, Janssen, all those drivers behind on the medium tire do have that dilemma of going to either the soft tire, the hard tire, or not pitting at all, which seems to be the worst option, as Leonard gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, Leonard, that will certainly not mean anything good for his race. Will there be any driver who's continuing? No, the entire top 12 had pitted already. So Davey into the pit lane, as the new option in the game makes it so that drivers can go through one another, and that means Davey goes through a driver who was in the pit lane into P2 once again, P1, excuse me, as Joey goes P2 on the medium tire. So Joey out of nowhere, I think he has to pit, I'm certain he has to pit, is into P2. And Jagizan behind on the soft tires. Can he make them last until the end of the race? I do think that is an option for Jagizan, but not as last year. This year the soft tires will degrade a lot faster, so he will have to work at the end of the race to keep his position if he is able to overtake both drivers in front and go into the lead. Okay, so let's evaluate once we, as we have some time. It's Davey in P1 in the McLaren. Maximum points almost for him with his pole position. Who has the fastest lap at the moment? I think is what jars on the medium, the hard compound. As we will enable some of the telemetry. The fastest lap is for jars 29.2, which will certainly go a lot faster now that they have runners on the soft and the mediums. So let's once again enable the interval. Some drivers, with the last driver being Milan, have to close up to the back for the safety car to go in, and I think it will take one more lap. Let's go to the different tires that everyone is using right now. So the only driver not having pitted under the safety car is Joey, and as Leonard goes into the pit lane, he will try to get his 5 seconds removed, or he will try to go for soft tires. Let's go on board with him to see what he will do. And momentarily into the lead of the race, of course, the pit lane cutting a lot of the track on the inside, as the McLaren pit crew are waiting from Damiano. So Damiano into the pit lane as well, and Leonard's 5 seconds will be removed now, and he will go to a new set of the medium tire. As yes, there is the Avatar now driving away. So the only driver in the top 10 not pitting on the safety car is Joey, but also Jerry. Jerry pitting before the safety car, it seems, with 2 laps of medium. And it's a Haas 2-4 for now. Will that change? Most certainly, because Joey has to pit once again. I'm curious, will the weather stay like it is, or will the weather change into a wet race? We saw, of course, the qualifying session getting hit with the rain, so Q3 was a wet session. Is there any chance the race will have a wet part as well? As we wait, I think this lap the safety car will go in. So it's Davey from Joey, from Yagizan, from Steph, Fruitful, Julian on the soft tires, Johnson on the hard tires, so he doesn't believe the soft tires will last until the end of the race. Then Jerry, meneer van den Bergen, Sven, Charles in the Ferrari, Borrell in P12, Andreas in P13, also on the hard tires, P14 is Jars, P15 for Cameron, P16 Mika, P17 Milan, Damiano in P18 and Leonard in P19, both drivers heading into the pit lane at the final possible opportunity, because this lap the safety car will go into the pit lane, and saying that he's already in the pit lane. So we're just waiting for Davey to go on the power. Where will Davey start to push? Is he pushing now? He is pushing now, so Davey is pushing over the start finish line, and he has to catch Joey napping. Already Yagizan alongside Joey, and he is past the Haas driver. The Haas teammate Steph also trying to get past Joey, and he is alongside Joey and past Joey. Fruitful opting to do the same then. He's already into P4 as Joey is being overtaken left and right and center. Into P6 already, being overtaken by Janssen on the hard tire. Those medium tires dying at the restart. Oh, is there's a Williams into the wall, and that's the Williams of Andreas on the hard tire, not maybe having enough grip, as we're 3 wide. 3 wide, Joey, Jerry van Bussel, meneer van den Bergen, trying to get another position as we're heading towards Cops. And Joey is in P7. Oh, almost contact. As the Alpine driver of meneer van den Bergen, I think, avoided the contact as Lenners has retired from the session. And that was a hectic restart as Joey gets a corner cutting penalty, I think, as well. At least a warning. Sven getting past Joey. Meneer van den Bergen now getting past Joey. Will he get past Sven as well? As Julian goes past Fruitful for P4 in the race on the soft compound. But Fruitful still pretty close as Borrell goes past meneer van den Bergen on the soft compound. Jars get past Joey as well. Joey in P12 now. Will Joey go into the pit lane? I think he won't. He will continue on for just a few laps more. But Davey away from Yagizan, and that's interesting to see because Davey is on the medium compound of tires. Let's go towards Damiano and Milan, who are side by side. Julian, Damiano getting deep and on the inside of Milan, but Milan keeping the position. And as we're going down the straight, it's meneer van den Bergen and Jars side by side. Meneer van den Bergen trying to go around the outside of the soft runner. Can he go around the outside? Can he go around the outside of the left field? He can. So Jars around the outside of meneer van den Bergen, but meneer van den Bergen pushing towards Kops. Will he go around the outside of Kops? No, he won't. So he's staying behind for now, but now the run towards Maggots. Can he get alongside? No, he can't. He's staying behind a few corners more. As Borrell and Sven are also pretty close. Milan gets a 3-second time penalty in P13. Jerry is looking to get past the Ferrari of Janssen on the hard tires. Of course, with the hard tires you have a disadvantage in race pace. Damiano once again in a battle with Milan. And now Milan is going around the outside of Damiano. Damiano trying to go around the outside of the final corner. He can't. But he is trying to push Milan to get past Charles. Can he get past Charles? He's pretty close to Shaw. Shaw on the hard compound as Burrell gets past Sven. Shaw on the inside trying to defend, but Milan around the outside. What can Damiano do? He follows him through, but Damiano going for a move on Milan simultaneously. So it's Milan and Damiano going for a move towards the next part of the track. It's side by side, P13 and P12, and Damiano gets past Milan. And now Milan loses the car a little bit, but that was an awesome move done by the McLaren driver, who's into P12, but they have lost a lot of time to Meneer van den Berg, who's in 2.4 seconds in front of TFL Damiano, as Fruitful has got a 3-second time penalty, not helping his race. Janssen loses the car and Ball gets on the grass. That won't allow Ball to make a move, I think. No, he won't be able to make a move. As Jars and Steph are side by side. Steph, excuse me, Sven, now being overtaken by Jars around the outside. And that was an awesome move as Julian sets the fastest lap time on the soft compound. As Burrell tries now to get past Janssen in the first corner. He does get past as there's a wheel banging moment as Burrell is side by side with Janssen. Now he's past Janssen. So Janssen on the hard compound is getting closer to the back of the field instead of the front of the field. As Jars get past as well. And Sven now is looking to get past Janssen as well. On the medium tire, Janssen giving enough room to Sven in the Alfa Romeo. But Janssen having that inside line. As the battle for P6 is pretty close now, and Sven pushing towards Kops. Will he go around the outside of Kops? Is this move paying off? No, it is not paying off. So Janssen in front for now. As now we see the moment that Yagizan is on the cusp of DRS. He does not have DRS. He has only 5% of battery. And Davy 16%. Let's look at the drivers behind. Steph 27%, a bit more. So he will try to make a move on Yagizan. Julian behind 62%. Fruitful behind on 40%. And of course Fruitful on the medium tires, as is Davy. So first, 5th and 6th position are in a different strategy as Burrell gets a 3-second time penalty. Are on different tire compounds, a different strategy than Yagizan, Steph and Julian. But which strategy will pay off? Let's go towards the back once again. Janssen has been overtaken by Meneer van den Berg as well. And Damiano is looking behind to take the position as well. So pushing. Damiano gonna pass and Burrell. Oh, it's Jars going a bit wide. And that's the fight for P7 going on. But the fight for P10 as well behind. Let's go back to the battle between Sven and Meneer van den Berg. As Sven and Meneer van den Berg are side by side going through Kops. Will Sven hold around the outside of Kops? No, a lot of drivers wanting to do it as Meneer van den Berg gets a time penalty. Will Sven put it alongside in Maggots and Beckett's? No, he won't. Switch back at Maggots and Beckett's? No, doesn't look like it, as Steph has gotten past Yagizan. Steph, of course, with the higher level of ERS, getting past the Turkish driver. So now it's the mission for Steph to push towards Davy. Steph having a high chance of winning this race with his tire compound and with his ERS advantage, as Steph misses his apex for the first corner, as there's contact between Yagizan, Steph and Julian, I think. What is going on there? Is it an AI? Is Steph suddenly an AI? No. I think it was just a mistake by Steph not paying attention. And now Julian is in P2. So all going loose here in lap 17 of 26 as Damiano gets past Sven. And we look towards Jars and Jerry. Jars getting past Jerry. Jerry still around the outside. Once again going through to Cops. Will there finally be made a move? Oh, what's going on around here? Oh no! Contact! Jerry just turning in on Jars. Jars out of the session. He lost his tire and Jerry, it looks like he was just turning into Jars. No chance for Jars to avoid that accident. There's yellow sector 2 because of the DNF from Jars. But what on earth was going on there? It looked like the fault from Jerry fully, but we will have to review that after the race. For now though, it's P4 for Jagizan, P3 for Steph, P2 for Julian, P1 still for Davey with a 1.9 gap, 1.8 now, as Julian edges closer and closer, as there's yellow sector 3. I think it's the Mercedes of Cameron retiring in the pit lane. Yes, it is. So Cameron out of this race. Steph out of ERS now. Julian on 50% of ERS and Davey on 30% of ERS. And the question once again rises, which strategy will be the winning strategy? I think as Johnson gets a 3-second time penalty, Davey has a very good chance of winning the race at this moment. Having a 1.8 second gap as Julian goes wide and having the medium tires, which will be better after a few laps as Josh has retired from the session and has left the session now. Will Jagizan get back at Steph? Steph having no ERS. Jagizan having built up ERS behind the Haas driver. Now Jagizan goes into the podium positions and into P3. So it's Davey from Julian from Jagizan now, with Jagizan having more ERS than he had before. So now it's a job for Steph to regain a bit of that ERS to try to make a move against the Turkish driver a few laps from now on. And let's look at the time penalties. We have time penalties for a few drivers. 6 seconds for Borrell as well as Jerry, as well as Meneer van den Bergen, the other time penalties being 3-second time penalties. Looking at the gaps in front, Julian 1.6 seconds from Davey. So the gap edges closer and closer, and as Milan and Sven are side by side, Sven getting passed by Milan. As Sven is now relegated down to P10. Battle just being not as hectic as a few laps ago, but still fully on, as the gap between 1 and 2 in this race seems to be stabilizing. 1.7 now, so Davey just driving away a bit more from the Aston Martin. Aston Martin being second in the constructors behind McLaren, wanting to outscore them, but with a DNF for Yüksel and Davey in P1, it does not look good for Aston Martin, as Sven once again got past Milan on the hangar straight at Stowe. And let's go on board with the Mercedes driver, because if the record is anywhere to look at, I think Milan will make a move once again on the Alfa Romeo driver. Here on the Wellington Straight, the gap is 0.3 of a second. Will there be a possibility for a move? Milan is pushing. He is using his DRS, and is alongside the Alfa Romeo and is past the Alfa Romeo of Sven. So both drivers, as Julian gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh no! Julian, a 3-second time penalty, which will put him a few positions back. So at least P5 for now. So that means, Fruitful having a 3-second penalty as well, so he would have to overtake Julian on track. But looking at the ability of Fruitful to keep up with these drivers, the medium tires seem to get in a better window at this point. So are we getting to a crossover point as Jerry van Bussel goes past Borrell behind Sven and Milan once again fighting for position. Sven getting past Milan once again. Milan staying behind for now after being overtaken at the hangar straight once again. And Jagisan and Julian very close. Will Julian defend with the penalty in his back head? Will he defend against the AlphaTauri driver? Let's look behind. He is not pushing ERS, and Jagisan of course is having the DRS advantage. As Julian misses at apex, Jagisan completely goes over the curb and gains a lot of time. And the best onboard might be the onboard of Fruitful now, because he has his sights on Steph in the Haas and he can see the battle happening in front. Steph once again having low ERS levels due to the fact that his lights are blinking at the back end of his car. Fruitful is noticing the lights blinking at the back. So is he pushing? He's not pushing yet. So Steph, looking at Steph, Steph has 14% ERS after the hangar straight, as once again Borrell, Jerry van Bussel, Milan and Sven are switching positions as Jerry van Bussel keeps P6 but goes wide. Oh, Jerry van Bussel almost losing his car, accelerating to the Hamilton straight as Joey gets 3 seconds worth of time penalty in P13. They are so close. Was that gap even 1/10 of a second, I wonder? As Borrell now on the back of Jerry, trying to get a better line, and with the soft tires, trying to get the better grip out on toward the Wellington straight. DRS, ERS, oh, they're switching positions left, right. Around the outside goes Borrell, but Jerry keeping the position on the medium tire. So as we talked about, are the medium tires the tire to be on? Are the soft tires having problems now? And that means problems for Julian, Yagizan, Steph. Are there problems for the soft runners? We have to go 5 more laps into the race. 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26. So almost closing the 22nd lap. And then there are 4 laps left of the Silverstone Grand Prix. Oh, as Damiano tries to go around the outside of Jerry. Jerry pushes him wide as Damiano gets a 3-second time penalty because of it. Damiano is pushing Jerry wide. Oh no! Contact between the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren. Oh, that did not seem like the best move that they could have made. Bit clumsy from both drivers. Damiano pushing Jerry as wide as he could. And now Milan and Sven are on the back of Jerry. Is Milan able to go past Jerry? Yes, he is. He does have the benefit of the ERS as well. Is Sven also able to get past Jerry? Jerry's lights are blinking, so that certainly means he does not have a lot of ERS. Are his front wing is his front wing damaged? It looks like it by the speed he's going around the circuit. So now it's Sven in P8, Milan in P7 in the Mercedes, after having a terrible start. As there's yellow sector 2, is that Fruitful? Is that Fruitful? Fruitful has spun on the medium tire here in Maggots and Beckett's. Now over the grass. 3-second time penalty once again. And Fruitful into P10, about to be overtaken by Jansen. No, he can't keep the position for now. But of course, dirty tires, will that mean that Jansen has a prime opportunity to get past the Red Bull driver, as Borrell gets a 3-second time penalty. So looking at the left hand side at the penalties and at the top 4, it looks like it's Davey from Yagizan from Steph as things are right now. if the checkered would be right now. But we have 2.5 laps still left here in the race as Julian gets passed by Yagizan on the soft compound. Yagizan going wide though. Julian with the switchback is now alongside Yagizan, but can he keep the position? No, he can't. Julian is not pushing his ERS, is not trying to make a move on the Turkish driver, is staying behind. And Yagizan with 43% of his ERS still left can defend against the Aston Martin driver. And Steph looking behind as well. So looking at the point of view of Steph, Steph might be able to get 2 places in one straight, one corner. He won't go for it. Will he go for it on the Turkish driver though? He won't. He stays behind Yagizan for now. So Julian in P2, Yagizan in P3, Steph in P4, Julian getting past the Turkish driver once again. And it's so close. If this would not have been a penalty for Julian, this would have been a mighty battle. It still is. But of course we know that Julian is getting set back 2 places. So the real battle for the podium is between Yagizan and Steph. Steph having 30% of his ERS left. Julian now making a move on... Oh, excuse me. Yagizan now making a move on Julian. And Julian trying to switch back on Yagizan. He is doing just that. It's a repeat of the last lap. And now Julian is alongside, fully alongside Yagizan, onto us Cops. Will Julian make a move at Cops? Yes, he will. Julian alongside Yagizan into Magus and Beckett. Julian off the power, lets through the Turkish driver and is into P3. Yagizan into P2. Steph now in P4 as Steph gets a 3-second time penalty. Surely that will mean Yagizan will take P2 as Julian gets past Yagizan. Steph gets past Yagizan. Oh no, there's contact! Steph and Yagizan making contact. Yagizan has spun around here at lap 25 at Silverstone. Bogle is into P4, Steph into P5, Swen into P5. Oh, Steph and Yagizan making contact on the final lap. And Jerry also has been spun around. 10 seconds for corner cutting. What has happened here with the Alfa Romeo? And that means Yagizan out of the points, reversing into the pit lane. Jerry out of the points with a DNF because Meneer van der Bergen and Joey will overtake him. And now the 1, 2, 3, Davy, Julian and Steph. Not a lot has changed at the top except for Yagizan not being there anymore. But now Borrell, Swen, Milan, Fruitful back into higher points paying positions. Damiano, Johnson and Meneer van der Bergen in points paying positions. And it's drama here at Silverstone and Steph and Julian are so close. Where is Julian? Julian is a lot farther behind than he should be on Steph. Steph though overtaking Julian on the last lap here at Silverstone. Has Julian made a mistake? I think so. So Julian into P3 and surely Steph will get P2, but none has been faster than Davy in the McLaren. He will go for 25 points here at Silverstone. He will cross the finish line now to win here at Silverstone. Davy wins for the 2nd time in the 4th season of the Talent Factory League. Steph is 2nd, Julian is P3, Borrell is P4, Swen will finish P4 instead of Borrell because of time penalties. And there then is Johnson in P5, Borrell in P6 because of time penalties, Milan P7, Damiano P8, Fruitful P9, Meneer van der Bergen in P10 when he finishes, and Joey P11 in the Haas just outside of the points being positions. So congratulations to Davy. Never after the safety car did his victory look in doubt. No driver had been able to stay within 1 second of Davy, and that would have proven dividend to his victory here today. Steph, awesome drive from him. P2, Julian P3 in the Aston Martin, back on the podium. But Davy, after equaling on points with Black Box in the qualifying session, now is 25 points in front of Black Box in the championship. So I don't know about you, as Joey breaks for the line. Yeah, just finished, Joey. Thank you. As things are not as close as they were before this race at the top of the championship, with Yagizan also not taking home any points after his collision with Steph. So will the stewards have anything to say on that collision? And there's Davy taking the trophy home. He wins here at Silverstone. So let's invite Davy, Steph and Julian to the party for the interviews. And I thought that was an awesome race with some last lap drama. So it's going to be Davy. Let's invite Davy first, because I'm looking for the other drivers now. So Davy has been added to the party. And let's search for Steph. IFRA Steph has been added to the party. And the final driver, Julian, will be added to the party right now. So we are waiting for the drivers to join the press conference. And let's hear from Davy if he joins the party. There is Davy. He has joined the party. Davy, congratulations on your victory here at Silverstone. What do you have to say about it?
Good race.
Good race. Did your victory look in doubt after the safety car? But it looked like you had everything under control on the medium tires against Yagizan on the soft tires. Did he have the pace, or were you pushing that hard to keep him behind?
Yeah, I was pushing to keep him behind at DRS.
And just
and
saving
his tire
up.
drops off at the end. Yeah, and they are fighting.
Yeah, they were fighting pretty hard behind. Yagizan failed to finish within the points after spinning. Yeah, he made contact with Steph in the Haas. So Steph P2 has been invited to the party. Would like to hear from him, but it seemed like a pretty unfortunate incident at Stowe at the end of the Hangar Straight. But yeah, I don't think they are joining the interview. But Davy, congratulations, you are now 25 points ahead of Black Box in the championship. After taking 2 points for pole position. Awesome lap by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a pretty good showing by you, and I have nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
Other than congratulations and awesome job.
Thanks, mate.
Okay, and I think Steph and Julian won't join the party, so that means we will stop the broadcast. We will see you once again in 2 weeks. Yo, later, Davey. We will see you later in 2 weeks' time for the next race. See you then, and thanks for watching.